Yellow Class, welcome to your learning today. Today we're going to learn about dialogue. So first you need to know what dialogue is. So, what is dialogue? Dialogue is when someone is speaking in a text. That means in a story, it is when a character in a book has spoken or is speaking. When it comes to dialogue, there's lots of features, lots of things that show us when someone is talking. The main thing that is used is speech marks. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm circling around them. This normally opens the dialogue, shows when someone is starting to speak. And this normally closes the dialogue, shows when someone is ending their speaking. If you look at our book, the author only uses one line, and sometimes this happens, but it still shows us when someone is speaking, when there is dialogue in the book. So this part of the story is, what kind of bird are you if you can't fly? And I've changed my voice there because the speech marks are showing me that there is dialogue. The bird is talking to the duck. Another feature of dialogue is something called a reporting clause. This tells us how the dialogue is said. So in our book it says, "What kind of bird are you if you can't fly?" he said. Now that means he's just saying it, but if he was shouting it, the reporting clause would be, he shouted. If he was nervous, the reporting clause might be, he trembled. So the reporting clause helps the reader to know how the dialogue has been spoken. Now this one is quite tricky, and if you forget, don't worry, just have a go. Sometimes when there's dialogue in a book, the dialogue is split into two parts. Now, normally when we write a sentence, we put a full stop at the end, but as you can see here where my cursor is, there is a comma. So the first part of dialogue, you put your speech marks, you start with a capital letter, you write the dialogue, you write what the person is saying, and then you put the comma before the end speech mark. Then you put the reporting clause and the full stop. Then, if the person carries on talking, you open the dialogue again, start with a capital letter, and you might end this time with an exclamation mark or a question mark. So the first time someone speaks, before the reporting clause, there's always a comma before the end of the dialogue. Other times, the dialogue might end with an exclamation or a question mark. It's very rare that it ends with a full stop because the full stop goes after the reporting clause. There is another rule that you might need to know, and there's none of this in our book, so I've written some for you. When someone new speaks in a book, a new line is started. That's called new speaker, new line. So let's have a look. "Let's go to the zoo," said Peter. "The forest will be a much safer place without him." "Good plan," agreed the hunters. So as you can see, Peter is speaking first. And then even though I've got all this room left on that line, because the hunters are speaking next, I've put the dialogue on a new line. Now this is new learning for you, so you might find it tricky, but have a go. You're all doing so well. See you soon.